Our talk today, inshallah, is about the reasons and the source of the deviation of the Ummah of Muhammad from the purpose of gathering people for the ritual of pilgrimage. Allah the Almighty assembled whoever is able among His servants in the Holy Mosque of Mecca, regardless of their color, nationality, or origin, all to worship and praise Allah and seek His mercy and His pardon. The goal of this gathering not only limited to glorifying and remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, visiting His house and circling the Kaaba, as all among the ultimate goals of pilgrimage. But there are more important noble goals for the servant to conquer blessings in this life and the hereafter. These goals, from the point of view of the divine guidance, may be more important than circling the Kaaba and walking between Safa and Marwa. The noble goal is to get to know one another, which enforce and increase the ties among Muslims. The noble goal is to institute discussions, interchange of ideas that unify their minds and their voices, to be a force that the enemy would fear and a friend would value. Through pilgrimage, Allah made available all the ingredients, all the elements for unity and harmony in an environment that unified in time and in place. Allah unified the way the pilgrim dress, chant, supplicate, and commanded the ritual of sacrifice to get closer to Him and satisfy the need of the poor through whoever is able and can afford such a ritual. Allah gave the permission in pilgrimage to stimulate buying and selling among them, creating the first and the largest cohesive market in the world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala positioned all these commands in a unified form to worship and seek one Lord. In His presence, tribalism, nationalism disappear, leaving Islam as the only nationality. The Quran illustrated all these noble meanings and goals when it spoke about pilgrimage in Surah Al-Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "And proclaim the pilgrimage among men. They will come to thee on foot and mounted in every kind of camel lean on account of a journey through deep and distant mountain highways, that they may witness the benefit provided for them and celebrate the name of Allah through the days appointed over the cattle which He has provided for them for sacrifice. Then eat thereof and feed therewith the distressed one in want. Then let them complete the rites prescribed for them, perform their vows, and go around the ancient house." These verses clearly explain that unification of the heart and the soul, as well as unity of the goal and conduct demonstrated throughout the pilgrimage, among the clearest divine guidance in Islam. It cannot get any clearer than that. The goal is unity. The goal is unified in who we worship, recognizing His rights over us. A guidance enabled the Ummah to materialize complete and real unity in all aspects and all objects. My dear brothers and sisters, the experience of unity and harmony built by Islam in the ritual of pilgrimage became a reality and came to life when Muslims went to Hajj for the first time. They found tents of yesterday's enemies are close and tangled in Mina, with display of honorable goodness, unity, and ultimate in harmony. All the tents of yesterday's enemies who fought each other, killed each other, all transformed overnight into unity and tents that is closed in complete harmony. These pictures and this emotion conveyed to us by a woman among the tribe of Ahmas as the Muslim gathered in Mina for the first time in Hajj. Imam al-Darami and al-Hakim and other narrated on the sort of Hayya, daughter of Abi Hayya, that she said, telling a story about her experience in that day, the first Hajj in Mina. She said, while we were in Mina, a man approached us in the afternoon, and I asked, where are you coming from? He said, I came with a friend seeking camels that misled the way. My friend went after them, and I came to get some shade and drink some liquid. The woman continued saying, I offered him some sour milk as we shared it both. Seeing, she continues saying, seeing and experiencing the goodness in his faith. She asked him, who are you? He responded, Abu Bakr. She said, she inquired more, Abu Bakr, the one who I know about, the companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? And he said yes. She continued saying, reminiscing over what she experienced in the moment of unity in Mina. She said, I remember when we were battling the tribe of Uthman and battling one another before Islam. And now and today, I experience what Allah bestowed on us of peace and harmony, seeing all these tents close and tight together. Then she continues saying, I asked Abu Bakr, until when you think people will stay in that bliss? Until when people will stay with this unity? Until when the Muslim Ummah will experience such bounty of harmony, of goals and ideas and destination? He answered, as long as their leader are on the right path of Allah. She said, explaining or inquiring more, what are you meaning by leaders? He responded, don't you see the master in a district? People follow and obey him. If they stay on the right path of Allah, then all this bliss will last. And in another narration that Abu Bakr, by Bukhari, that Abu Bakr said, peace and harmony will last as long as your leader are and keeping you on the right path of Allah. It is obvious this woman was overwhelming feeling of happiness, seeing tens of different tribes together, asked what it takes of this ummah to enjoy justice, unity, support to the weak, and having its affair on the right path. The answer from As-Siddiq was decisive. Again, it will last as long as the leaders are on the right path of Allah. And that answer would give you a clue of why the Ummah of Muhammad today, in the shape it is in, and what is going on of division, and what's going on of separation of that unity. Abu Bakr clearly stating unity and justice will last if the leader among kings, prince and president of this ummah are on the right path of Allah, not divided by sinful desires and not torn by greed, as people will follow them in the same direction. If the leaders are torn by greed, divided by self-interest, their follower will follow in the same wrong path. It is always said, people follow the guidance of their leader. So whoever among the leader deviated from the straight path of Allah, he is misguided and will misguide others. My dear brothers and sisters, Abu Bakr again said it clearly. Political corruption, personal greed, and self-serving among the leaders are the obstacle for the unity and the harmony that Islam built its foundation, turning it into division, conflict, and weakness of the strengths of the Ummah of Muhammad. The same guidance was stated by Umar ibn Khattab, may God be pleased with him, as it was narrated by Abu Nu'aym that he said before he dies, know that people will stay in a state of bliss, that the Ummah of Muhammad will stay in a state of unity, in a state of harmony, in a state of love, prosperous in a state of bliss as long as their leaders and those who guide them in faith are on the right path of Allah. Not just the leaders, but also those who guide the Muslim in faith, as we can see a lot of corrupt, religious, what they call leaders. Now the answer is clear. The reason of the deviation of the Ummah from the purpose of pilgrimage is the fact that the leaders who are in control of soul and wealth are not on the right path, and people follow them in the wrong direction. People go to the holy mosque today in Mecca, identifying themselves by their nationalities, tribal association, and influenced by regional conflict, hate, and disagreement. A very sad state of affair, of conflict, reached the ultimate of disgrace when some Muslim countries refused to recognize the day of standing in Arafat in Mecca, claiming that they did not see the moon themselves. Even sighting the moon and standing with the day of Arafat with the pilgrimage Mecca is not recognized by some Muslim country because they are not witnessing the moon themselves. With souls and hearts come to the holy mosque in Mecca with these ill feelings, they cannot experience any of the pilgrim. The pilgrim cannot experience the unity of whom they worship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the unity of their standing, clothing, and purpose. All these conflicts and disagreements point out to the extent of how much we are at odds with Allah. All these disagreements, all these conflicts, all these problems that we experience today magnify how much we are at odds with Allah the Almighty and His divine guidance, leaders and followers. Not just the leaders and followers. May Allah spare us. Regardless of these differences and conflicting goals and intention today, it is imperative that pilgrimage and its divine guidance, the correct divine guidance of pilgrimage, stay the same. The holy journey will continue as the pilgrim reach the holy mosque in Mecca, hoping and praying that Allah, in His will, resurrect in their gathering the spirit of unity that materialized and experienced by the early Muslims. And ultimately, we hope and pray that all Muslims experience, understand, and comprehend the purpose and the goal of this holy trip that happens once a year for whoever is able. Assalamu alaikum.